How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper, and my goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading, whether price is going up or down. Mixin platform suspends deposits and withdrawals after $200 million security breach. In its statement, the Mixin network team revealed that hackers attacked its cloud service provider with a potential loss worth of up to $200 million. Their service provider was one of the main concerns people had about them. The tweet also read that deposit and withdrawal services had been temporarily suspended. The team plans to reopen the service after discussions and consensus among all 35 mainnet nodes. So they're supposed to be decentralized, but they shut down after a hack, so that on top of their node provider makes everyone wonder if they're really as decentralized as they claim. So that's another thing the article states. This update could change Bitcoin development forever. Libitcoin kernel is a far-reaching, in-progress facelift of Bitcoin's code. The goal of the ambitious project is to entangle Bitcoin's core code so that much of the security-critical code is sliced out from the rest of it. So what that means is they want to basically separate the code so you don't need to write in the security code each time you're trying to make a feature. So you only have to worry about coding for your feature. Untangling this code makes the developers' lives easier, and changes are likely to eventually ripple out to users as well. As faster developers can write up new features, users will be able to take advantage of them just as fast. SEC objects to Coinbase's role in Celsius bankruptcy distribution plan. The US SEC and the crypto exchange Coinbase have locked horns over the role that collapsed crypto lender Celsius wants Coinbase to play as the distribution agent. In a Friday filing, the top regulator said that Celsius's plans to use Coinbase as a distribution agent for international customers goes far beyond the services of a distribution agent, contemplating brokerage services and master trading services. The plan to use Coinbase's services may implicate that the concerns raised by the SEC's district court action case against Coinbase says that the exchange would act as a middleman connecting buyers and sellers of crypto, according to the SEC. So the SEC's big qualm with them helping Celsius customers get their crypto is that they'd be helping people get crypto. Coinbase Chief Legal Officer Paul Grewal said on Twitter Monday, "I wonder why the SEC would object to trusted US public companies taking on this role. But that's probably because they don't have their hands in it. We look forward to addressing this within the bankruptcy court and undertaking our important role to make Celsius customers whole." So they're not going to back down. Hopefully they beat out the SEC and the SEC takes another L here. But onto the charts. So over on the Dixie for the daily, we are pushing our resistance here. We do want to flip it to support, so if we're able to come back down, flip this to support, that would be hopeful for us to continue to move forward. Our momentum overall is pushing out. Watch out for a bearish divergence, as we're not really getting newer highs, even though price is making higher highs. Our stochastics overall pushing with lower highs as well, so that could make more bearish divergences as well. Our RSI wants to push forward, and the VWAP and money flow are going pretty decent in the bullish territory. The VWAP's not very strong, and it's meeting some resistance. It is stopping right around the 6 zone. We have rejected there several times before and taken dips. We are in a bit of an up channel, so all that combined could end up pushing us down. As an up channel is a bearish pattern, our VWAP's kind of stalling out at a resistance area, and the money flow is pushing decent, but our other indicators look like they could start to slide and make divergences, so I would watch out. Now, that does correlate with the rest of the market, I've been told, so that means that the rest of the market could start to dip as well. I may move the Dixie to somewhere between the Bitcoins or something, because it's more in line with how they move. Let me know where you guys would want on the lineup. Our stochastics overall falling, we have a bearish divergence. Price is trying to push forward with an indecision candle, so it's not the strongest move forward. Our money flow is in a bit of a bear trend, as we are getting lower lows with lower highs, even though we're trying to push forward. Our RSI wants to make a bounce, and our momentum is coming out as our VWAP is falling through this bearish territory and continuing down. So the bullish action we have today might be short-lived, and we could see it just roll over and push us lower. Over on Bitcoin dominance, we are continuing to slide toward our support, so watch out. If we hit that support tomorrow and break through, we'll likely see lower price action from there. Our stochastic is pushing down, RSI is losing strength, and the momentum is starting to fall because the VWAP is in the bearish territory and falling pretty sharply. The money flow is getting lower highs and it is in jeopardy of breaking this neutral, so we could fall to the bearish territory here and start a bearish trend. If that does happen, we're likely going to see lower lows from here. Over on Bitcoin dominance, we are trying to push forward, but we're not really going very far, and we're getting a manipulation X that wants to bring us even lower. Stochastic wants to push down, our RSI is overall trending out, the momentum is coming down, and the VWAP is pushing lower into the bearish territory. Our money flow is getting lower lows and lower highs, so we do have a bearish trend still. So overall, we could still see that 24,985 zone play out, see a retest of this 25k zone, and then if we break through that, we could see that 20k zone play. Over on Bitcoin, we are trying to push up a little bit, but we have that manipulation X here too, so that's in tandem with our Bitcoin CME. Both things are suggesting we will see lower price action from here. We did try to come up toward our resistance and we stopped short of it and we fell flat. Stochastic's overall pushing out, RSI is losing strength, and our VWAP is falling. The momentum is pushing lower as our VWAP's in the bearish territory, so our momentum may fall to the bearish side in the next couple days if we don't get some strong green candles. And momentum is pushing down pretty sharply. Money flow is a little zigzaggy. We're struggling to get lower lows, but we're getting lower highs. So if the money flow rolls over here and makes a lower low, we will set up a bearish trend that would push us lower. However, if we continue forward and make a higher high, then we would start a bullish trend that could push us forward and out of this zone. Over on the 4-hour, we are trying to get a little bit of a rounding bottom here, so if we come back down, we may make a little mini cup and handle that could push this resistance, possibly the resistance of our golden pocket zone. So watch if we manage to break through and hold either of those zones. If we just break our resistance, our point control, our golden pocket, is going to be our next stop. So if we break this support resistance area, break it from being our resistance, make it support, we would continue to possibly push forward into the point control. At which point we would test this to be our support or resistance, and if we held that, we would see continual price action up. Stochastic is pushing forward, our VWAP is starting to kind of roll away, and our money flow is starting to reject away from neutral. Our RSI is starting to curl down as well, so overall we have more bearish pressure here than we have any bullish indications. The momentum does want to push up as our VWAP is in the bullish territory, but the VWAP's at a bit of a high spot, so it could start to cool down here and set lower price action. Over on the 2-hour, we are in a bit of a downtrend that could start to form as we're getting lower highs. If we push down for a lower low, that would start a down channel. Down channels are bullish patterns, so if we make a down channel, that would be hopeful to push us forward. Our stochastic is starting to round off. Our RSI is starting to round away. We are trying to bounce here though, so if the stochastic can stay high, the RSI will maintain its strength. Our VWAP is starting to roll away though, so our VWAP is starting to head more toward the bearish territory. That could weaken the medium to higher time frames. If we fall to the bearish territory and hold here, then we will set up lower price action. You can see we do have a retest of our previous highs here, even though we're not quite as high on price action. So if this VWAP rolls over and breaks to a lower low, we could swing even lower and see lower price action, possibly a retest of the support soon. Momentum is starting to round away and our money flow can't break through that neutral. So if it rolls over here, that would set up a lower high and would put us in jeopardy to make a lower low and create a bearish trend. Over on the 1-hour here, we are kind of flat. So we did have a potential of a bear flag that I did mention in the Discord. So if you're not in the Discord and you want like daily updates, you watch the video at night, you're wondering what's going on over the day because I don't do anything during the day, our best way is to join that Discord. So hit that like, hit the subscribe and join us through that Discord, and then you can get them daily updates. But this bear flag could end up pushing us lower, so that would try to make us test the bottom of our other flags, so we have kind of a flag within a flag that could form here. This is a bit of an up channel too that you could draw out, so that is a bearish channel as well. So we have multiple different bearish outlooks we could see here. Our stochastic is starting to push down. Our RSI does want to curl up, but our momentum is losing strength with a red dot. Our VWAP is in the bearish territory, but it's curling, so if it manages to break back to the bullish side and pushes forward and manages to sustain above like this 6-7 zone, we could see continued price action up. However, if we break to the bullish side, hit the 6 zone, and kind of stall, we could see it be our resistance, and we could see lower price action from there then. Over on, meant to do the daily, not the weekly for graph. If you guys want to see weekly time frames, let me know, and I could cover them. I'm not too big on the weekly though. Our stochastic's overall pushing down on the daily. Our RSI does want to go up, and the momentum is overall pushing down, but does want to get a bit of a round up here as our VWAP is trying to reclaim some strength. So if that VWAP can push up here, we would get a higher low, and we could start some sort of a bullish trend. Our money flow is trying to start a bullish trend too, as we have a higher low, and we are trying to break to the bullish side. So the money flow can flip to the bullish side and get a higher high. We would have a bullish trend on our money flow that could help propel us forward, and we could see this pattern play again. Now that doesn't happen very often, so that's why I would never bet on it happening, but we do look a little probable. We do have a potential double bottom, like slanted double bottom here, that could try to propel us forward and retest where we kind of stopped short around this 9-cent zone. Our stochastic is overall pushing forward, and our RSI is losing some strength here. The VWAP is starting to roll away, but we are kind of bouncing off this 10 zone. So if we don't break through this zone, we could continue this bullish momentum, curl up, and continue forward. But that money flow is going to need to turn around if that's going to be a hopeful scenario. Money flow is pushing pretty strong into the bearish territory, so I would watch the lower time frames to see how weak or strong the money flow is on there. The momentum is starting to roll away, so if this VWAP continues to come down and breaks through this 10 zone, that momentum is likely going to roll over from here. Over on the 2 hour, we have a bit of a reversal arrow that is trying to bring us down currently. Our stochastic has a bearish cross that is bringing us down with it, and our RSI overall is getting a little bit of a push down. The momentum is starting to roll away, and our VWAP is in jeopardy of breaking through the neutral, so this will be a pivotal spot here. And we break through to the bearish side and get a lower low below this little spot at that -3, then we could start a bearish trend. However, if we just curl up and push through back to the bullish side, that could confirm a bullish trend, and we could continue forward from here. Our money flow is in the bearish territory, but we are kind of stalling here right around this -9, -10 zone, where we've managed to bounce off of a couple times before in recent history. So if we do manage to make a bounce here, we will see continued price action up. However, if that money flow starts to roll away and the VWAP breaks bearish, we would likely see a break of this support, and we could see our bearish pattern take over. Over on graph for the 1 hour, we are getting a push with our stochastic. Our stochastic is trying to curl up to the bullish side. The RSI wants to get a little bit of a curl here, and the momentum is overall spilling over with a red dot. The money flow is overall in a bearish trend, so we could continue that. If we don't manage to break through this neutral, the next time we approach it, if we reject this neutral, we could see lower price action. Our VWAP is getting consistent lows and higher highs, so not quite a bearish or bullish trend yet. But if we come up and roll away, we could start a bearish trend. So I would watch out. If this VWAP manages to stay in the bearish territory, that's going to weaken the higher time frames. The money flow would do the same. So those are the two things you're going to want to see flip back to the bullish side. If we stay within this range where they're at, and as frequent as we're visiting the bearish territory, we may ultimately just spill over from here and lose support. Over on Anchor for the daily, we are not moving very good. Pretty much like everything else, everything's very flat today. Our stochastic is trying to push away, our RSI is overall starting to slide, and the momentum has a red dot that wants to bring us down as our VWAP is falling to the bearish territory. Our money flow is trying to get a little bit of a bounce through this bearish territory into the bullish territory, so this will be a pivotal spot for us. If our money flow gets higher highs and we continue forward, we could see continued price action up. However, if this money flow just rolls over here and gets a lower high, we could start a bearish trend here. Over on the 4 hour, we are kind of just stretching along here, not really going very far. RSI is starting to roll away, stochastic's trying to push up, the money flow is overall trending out, and the VWAP is in the bullish territory, but it doesn't look very strong, so I would watch out. If it starts to roll over here, we're going to lose that bullish strength. The momentum does want to push forward, and it did get a green dot because the VWAP broke bullish, but it's not looking too strong right now. Over on the 2 hour, our stochastic wants to make a run up. Our VWAP is in the bullish territory. It's kind of stalling here though, so I would watch out, as our money flow is in the bearish territory, tried to cross bullish, and got rejected. So if that money flow continues down, that VWAP could roll away here, bringing everything else down with it. The momentum is in jeopardy of rolling away here. We are coming up, but it's kind of showing hints that it wants to start to bend. Our stochastic wants to push forward, but our RSI is really not picking up the strength, so I would watch out. These lower time frames are signaling we could be a little overexhausted. Our stochastic is getting lower highs here as we're trying to push forward. We have a reversal arrow that wants to push us away from this down channel and push us up, so we'll have to see if it can actually manage to push us forward or not. RSI wants to push forward. It is in a slight uptrend, but it's looking a little dicey as that stochastic's starting to get weaker and weaker. The momentum is in jeopardy of rounding over here, and the VWAP's overall in a bearish trend, so if we don't get a strong higher high and we start to stall here, we could roll over and break to the bearish side. Our money flow is in the bearish trend, so overall that does have me a little worried for that VWAP's recovery, because if we continue to sell off, our medium trend won't recover to the bullish side. Over on XRP for the daily, we are trying to push our point of control. We're technically above it, so if we get a green candle to push us forward and through this resistance, that would help push us forward. I believe I mentioned we might get sandwiched between the two of these. Our stochastic is starting to head down, RSI is overall trending out, the momentum is starting to weaken here, and our VWAP is falling to the bearish side. Our money flows overall getting consistent highs and consistent lows, so we're kind of flattening out here. That is putting us in jeopardy to start to roll over overall, as we were trying to pick up bullish strength. Over on the 4 hour, we are in jeopardy of breaking. You can kind of see we're under that support resistance area, so even though on the daily we're above, on the 4 hour we are trying to test it currently. If we get another red candle after this candle and push lower, we will see a rejection from here. However, if we get a green candle that pushes us into this pattern, we could see a bit of a bounce up from here and possibly retest some of these higher spots in this local trend. Our stochastic is trying to push forward, our RSI is starting to point away, our VWAP is starting to roll away, and the money flow is rejecting that neutral, so we could see lower price action, and ultimately if we do fall from here, again we could see that 38-cent zone I've been warning about for quite some time fill. Our momentum does want to push forward, but with everything else weakening, the momentum could do the same. Over on the 2 hour, our stochastic's starting to roll away, our RSI is trying to push forward, but our VWAP's starting to lose some strength. The money flow is in a bullish trend trying to push forward, and the momentum is trying to push forward, but the momentum's starting to roll away as our VWAP's losing strength. If our money flow breaks through this neutral here, that could push us forward. However, if the VWAP manages to come down and the money flow rolls away here, we would see a bit of a rejection from this area, so I would watch these pretty closely over the next few candles. Over on the hourly, we have a green candle that wants to push us forward that is after this reversal arrow. So sometimes they bring you up, sometimes they do nothing, like right here. Our stochastic does want to get a bullish cross and push us forward, but our RSI is starting to bend and it's showing some weakness. Our momentum is in jeopardy of rolling over here, and our VWAP is in the bullish territory, but it's not very strong, so we could stall out and start to push lower. Our money flow did peak to the bullish side, but it's starting to kind of bend over already. So overall, if we get a red candle following this candle we have right here, we could see a bit of a rejection from here. Finally, for tonight, we have anchor. We are pushing the value area low and away from our kind of top for our pattern. So we're pushing away from two resistance areas. Our stochastic is coming down. Our RSI is trending away. The momentum is overall pushing down with a red dot, and our VWAP has fallen into the bearish territory. If that VWAP continues to push lower, that momentum is likely to drop down pretty hard. That money flow is getting close to that neutral, so if the money flow breaks bearish, while the VWAP's in the bearish territory, that could set us up for a decent move to the downside. Over on the 4-hour, you can see we're just overall arcing away. This is acting as more of that triple top we did warn of. RSI is trending out. Our momentum has bearish divergence. Our stochastic has bearish divergence, and those are bringing us down. The VWAP's in the bearish territory pretty strong, and our money flow has fallen to the bearish territory. The momentum's in the bearish territory pretty deep, so overall it's going to be more dependent on if this money flow can maintain in the bearish territory and the VWAP maintain in the bearish territory. That could maintain a bearish trend. However, if they pull up from here, we could start a bit of a bullish trend. Over on the 2-hour, RSI is overall pushing out. Our stochastic is flirting with this neutral, and our VWAP is trying to get a bullish trend going. So if our VWAP can have a bullish trend and break through this neutral, that could help us round away, push off these kind of support resistance areas we have, where we have all these touches, and act as a bit of a support, local support in the middle of this pattern to push us forward. We would need to see our VWAP cross bullish and the money flow kind of push forward as well though. Our RSI is trending out, money flow is falling to the bearish side pretty sharply, and our VWAP is trying to break bullish. If that VWAP flips bullish and the money flow can curl, that would be positive for us. However, if the VWAP starts to roll away and the money flow continues down, that will drag us lower. Finally, for the 1-hour, our RSI is overall trending out. Our momentum is spilling over. Our money flow is in the bearish territory, setting up a bearish trend, and our stochastic did want to get a bit of a push off, but it's starting to roll away. So we could see a bit of a rejection and continued downside from here. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a wonderful night.